Most travelers never know this one trick, but it can completely change your airplane experience. Seriously, stop settling for whatever seat the algorithm assigns you. I am going to show you exactly how to hack the system. This isn't about being a frequent flyer with a million miles, and it's not about paying hundreds of dollars for an upgrade. This is a specific, actionable loophole that works on almost every single airline, domestic or international. If you are tired of your knees jamming into the metal tray table or fighting for a singular armrest while stuck in the middle seat, you need to listen closely. I'm going to take you from that cramped, miserable economy experience to a spacious, comfortable ride without opening your wallet. And you have to stay until the very end, because I'm going to share a bonus insider tip that airlines absolutely hate you knowing, something that can get you an entire row to yourself. Let's be real for a second. Flying has become an endurance sport. You spend weeks planning a trip. You drop hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on a ticket. And what do? You get jammed into a metal tube, shoulder to shoulder with strangers, usually in the back near the lavatories where the seats don't recline. It is frustrating, it feels unfair, and the worst part is that airlines design it this way on purpose. They want you to be uncomfortable, so you pay extra next time. They use confusing seat maps, they mark preferred seats that aren't actually better, and they use random assignment algorithms to fill the worst seats first. If you don't pick a seat, they will stick you in the middle to save the aisle and window seats for people willing to pay. It's a rigged game, but the good news is that every game has rules, and once you know the rules, you can exploit them. I didn't always know how to do this. A few years ago, I was flying from New York to Tokyo, a 14-hour flight. I didn't pay attention, I checked in late, and I ended up in the middle seat of the very last row. The seat didn't recline, the bathroom line was next to my head, and I was miserable. I swore I would never let that happen again. Since then, I have flown over 200 times. I have spent hours digging through airline forums, talking to gate agents, and testing different booking strategies. I have turned this into a science. I've tested this method on budget carriers, legacy airlines, and everything in between. It works. So let's break down the trick. This is a multi-step process, but it is very simple if you follow along. The first step is understanding the timeline. Most people book their ticket, pick a random seat, and forget about it until the day they fly. That is the mistake. The airline inventory is a living, breathing thing. It changes every single hour. The trick relies on the 24-hour reset. Airlines hold back a significant number of desirable seats, exit rows, bulkheads, and front of cabin seats for their elite status members. However, if those elite members don't book them, or if they get upgraded to business class, those prime economy seats are released back into the general pool. This usually happens exactly 24 hours before the flight, and again at 12 hours before the flight. Here is what you do. When you book your ticket, do not pay for a seat selection if the only options are bad. Just skip it or pick a free, terrible seat if forced. Now, you need to arm yourself with information. You're going to use a tool like Seat Guru or a newer, more accurate one like Airlines. These are free websites. You plug in your flight number and it shows you the real map of the plane. It tells you which seats have missing windows, which ones have extra legroom, and which ones have rigid armrests. Once you know which seats are actually good, you need to set an alarm. This is the crucial part of the airplane seat hack. You need to log into the airline's app exactly when the check-in window opens, usually 24 hours prior to departure. When you go to check in, look at the seat map again. You will often see that seats that were previously blocked or marked as paid only are suddenly free to select. This is because the system has started clearing upgrade lists. Let's say you check in 24 hours before and the seats are full. Don't give up. Most people check in, get their boarding pass, and never look at the app again. Keep checking every few hours. Click change seat or modify flight. As the flight gets closer, people cancel, miss connections, and elite flyers get bumped up. When an elite flyer upgrades, their prime aisle seat quietly opens up. If you're watching the app, you can snag it for free. I've moved from row 35 to row 10 just by checking 3 hours before the flight. Now, the partner trap, traveling with a friend or partner. Book the window and aisle in a 3-seat row, leaving the middle empty. Solo travelers rarely pick a middle seat, so unless the flight is full, that seat stays empty. If someone is assigned the middle seat, offer them the aisle or window. You still sit together with zero risk. Are you traveling by yourself? Find the soft block. In order to provide elite members with additional space, certain airlines block off the seats adjacent to them. You can use services such as Expert Flyer to determine whether seats have been reserved for members with a higher status, allowing you to select a row that is more secured. There are occasions when the app will not allow you to access it. This is the point at which the gate agent pivot is brought into play. Do not simply wait at the gate, instead inquire in a courteous manner. Hi, are there any exit row or forward aisle seats available? Agents are able to relocate you with only a few keystrokes after viewing missed connections and no-shows. If you are a courteous customer, you will frequently be elevated to Economy Plus. 45 minutes prior to boarding, I have completed this task on numerous occasions. An instance that can be observed in the physical world is the following. I declined the $40 seat assignment fee last month when I flew with a budget airline that had cramped seating. I was assigned to seat 24B, which is in the rear row. It is my fault that the application was left open. I did a check that night, but there was nothing. The following morning, I went to check, and there was nothing there. Afterwards, when I was riding in the Uber, I refreshed the app. 3 hours before takeoff, the app boomed. Seat 4A, which is located in an exit row and provides unlimited legroom, was available. I was able to save it and board in a VIP capacity. Patience and timing will be rewarded. Evidence in the form of screenshots shows that this is effective. 48 hours out, the seat maps appear to be completely occupied, but then, within 12 hours, they suddenly contain empty spots. It is only necessary for you to be there so that you can fill them out. Having an understanding of aircraft layout is beneficial. The fuselage of certain Boeing 777S narrows toward the back. Rows 45 and 50 with a 242 configuration are hidden jewels. Aisle or window seat, no seat next to you, additional storage space, and the airline map conceals it. Investigate different types of aircraft. Be on the lookout for so-called fake improvements. Although they are more expensive than standard seats, the preferred seats that airlines offer up for sale are frequently located toward the front of the plane and have the same amount of legroom as the seats in the back. Do not spend $50 in order to get an additional 3 minutes to deplane. In order to locate actual extra legroom seats, utilize seat map tools. Extra tip for you, straight from the source, the boarding door glitch. In the event that the flight is almost completely full, you should leave the app open until the boarding process begins. The rows are now unoccupied, as evidenced by the updates in real time. If you find yourself in an empty row, inquire with a flight attendant as you board. Is it permissible for me to occupy this row after the doors are shut? They usually respond affirmatively since it maintains the plane level and makes them feel satisfied. For the sake of your own comfort, make sure you find the unoccupied row before you get to the jet bridge. To reiterate, never take the first seat that is offered to you. Hidden gems can be found with the help of Seat Guru. Make sure to look at applications 24, 12, and 3 hours in advance. Rows of seats can be blocked by partner bookings. Before the doors are shut, utilize gate agents and up-to-the-minute data to secure the most desirable locations. In exchange for 5 hours of comfort, it requires a small amount of effort. You're beating the airline at their game without paying junk fees. Have you ever attempted the aisle and window technique with someone you are dating? Was it successful, or is there a seat hack that I somehow overlooked? Leave a comment down under. I read every single one, and I enjoy trying out new methods. Please turn on notifications, subscribe, and if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. Before we continue, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me which part of this video resonated with you the most, or share a quick story from one of your own trips. I read every comment.